Alright everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode that is actually pre-recorded but live from the Lair! What's got you there? Alright, today I'm responding to an email I got from a dude a couple weeks back, and I've been thinking about this. Basically, his brother is now entering into his third Mirage.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Alright, the first one, she cheated on him. She had 2 of his kids, so he played the whole child support revolving door thing with that first wife. About a half a decade after that divorce, he decided to get remarried again. No kids were involved in the second one, but they were married for about 7 years, and that one imploded. And now, after he's been divorced from his second wiffle, about 3 years, he's rattling the saber yet again to do it for a third time. And this particular individual wanted me to do a video to warn men out there in regards to this fallacy.
Know anyone who could use a good ass chewing?
I could use a good ass kick, and I'll be very honest with you.
But what if you could get that message delivered by an authentic drill instructor who spent 33 years in the Army? Ha ha ha! You asked for it. For just $35, you can get a customized knife hand ass chewing for a person of your choice, straight from the Popster.
I think you aren't even good enough to whiff the farts from a dog's ass.
And monthly supporters of the regiment receive a $10 discount.
I am hard, but I am fair.
Use the Cash App code on the screen to send your donation along with notes on the person whose ass needs chewing. And the Popster will handle the rest.
So, shut the fuck up!
These dudes who insist on getting remarried are getting fucked for the fucking that they got. I'm just saying, it's absolutely insane. Now, I watched the video, or a couple of videos, in regards to that one professional divorce attorney who'd been doing it for 30 years. But during these interviews, he breaks it down to the brass tacks of exactly just how stupid the whole Mirage thing is. Because that's what it is. It is a fantasy or a mirage. They feed men to keep them moving forward so they can milk you for resources, time and effort, you name it. Basically, they use the Mirage to bring you on the plantation and turn you into a slave. Now, here are the stats as it comes to marriages. First, Mirage is a 56% chance of failure inside of 10 years.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
All right. Second, Mirage has a 63% chance of failure. The third Mirage, 73 to 75% chance of failure. And those are just the basic stats. They go higher for women who are college educated, and when stepkids come in, if you want to have the Brady Bunch thing going on, that increases it as well. If the woman, loses a bunch of weight or starts working at a job where she matches the new slave husband's income, it usually will result in yet another divorce. Okay, now, of all the people out there getting married and divorced, 10 to 15% of these individuals will remarry one of their past wives.
Useless scumlapping shitbag.
I have no idea why they do this, other than the fact that maybe, Father Time starts to kick people in the ass, and it becomes harder to be alone, and then they recycle to the familiar, which is a past wife, and I'm going to tell you, that's a big mistake.
Hey, look at that! Look at that! No shit!
Don't ever issue second chances to a woman who has wielded the system against you. If she has wielded the system as a weapon against you, and somewhere down the road you're like, well, I was kind of a dick, and listen, just quash that right now. Do not remarry that female breeding dog. There, I said it, whack. Crimea River, build a bridge, and get the hell over it. Men are more likely to remarry, and usually when they do remarry, they will go younger. And it's usually a 2.4 to 1 over younger men, meaning 2.4 of the older dudes to every one dude that's younger that got divorced will remarry, but to a younger, more beautiful, fitter model. Now, I'm not saying you're trading up, you're trading in. It's still, for the most part, all of the models on the lot have been used heavily, and they are sold in as-is condition, so proceed with caution. The age gap usually between men and women, if a man remarries, is somewhere between 10 and 20 years younger. So if a dude gets divorced and he decides at some point after 55 to get remarried, you can usually expect the new bride that he picks to be at a minimum 10 years younger, maximum 20 years younger. Now, there are outliers there. These are just the articles that I've read.
It's not his fault he can't read.
All right. White men are more likely to remarry. Let me say that again. White men more likely to remarry.
Goddamn cracker.
Excuse me?
Gentlemen, you need to nip that in the bud because that's not going to go anywhere good in current year. And white dudes, you're smarter than that. Stop it. Now, you have the serial remarriers, and those are usually, again, white men 45 years or older who have had 3 or more marriages, or mirages as they call them. Why they do that, I have no idea. There's probably some kind of psychological pain, or maybe that's how they were raised. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, nor do I want to be one. Again, the risks of this marriage and remarriage craziness. Number 1 is child support. Now, I've looked through many of the laws across this country, and usually child support caps at a maximum of 50%. But what they don't tell you is if you need to pay for medical insurance or special needs, or Alice isn't horny anymore money, that 50% number of your take-home pay or gross pay in some states does not apply. Meaning, they are well within the letter of the law in several states of this country to take virtually all of your income to meet Alice isn't horny anymore money obligations plus child support, what have you. Now, normally that doesn't happen. I have talked to 2 or 3 dozen guys that have had upwards of 65-70% of their pay docked. Now, typically when you take that much away from a dude, you literally are taking away any incentive for him to actually work. And a lot of these guys just say, fuck it, throw me in jail, chase me for the money, I'm not doing it. And I don't blame them, because that, in my opinion, is indentured servitude, which is specifically outlawed in the Constitution. Straight up. So is slavery. But that's a whole other animal, and that one usually applies to fathers who have been tricked into signing the birth certificate and then wait 2 years and 1 day and find out that the child is not theirs by DNA. And it's too late. They're on the hook for 18 to 21 years, depending upon the laws of that state, to provide for a child that biologically is not theirs. Thus, slavery. Bummer.
What's your name?
Toby with an I.
I've been looking at the laws about the alimony craziness, and there is several types of alimony. There is temporary, Alice isn't horny anymore money. Then there's rehabilitative, and then there's permanent. I believe permanent is only offered in 5 states in the union at this time of this filming. Florida basically got rid of it. Let's face it, I think it's absolutely crazy to be responsible for a woman that divorced you financially for the rest of your life. In most states, rehabilitative alimony is 50% of the length of the marriage, usually capped somewhere between 5 and 7 years. There are some states that go up to 10. if you're married 20 years or longer. In my opinion, feminism has won. These women need to handle their shit and get the same answer you give a dude. It is what it is. If you want to stay out of the red line or don't want to starve, get a job. Wah. Cry me a river, build a bridge, and get the hell over it. All right, prenups. I did a whole show on the whole prenup thing. You can find it in the stack of past videos. The statistics on prenups are very hard to come across, and when I did the video on prenups, I was specifically looking at cases in at a law firm that has several of the databases where you can track that stuff. What I found is this: a majority of prenuptial agreements will not make it to the end of the divorce process without being modified in some way, shape, or form. And when I say majority, it's anywhere from 51 to 99%. From what I read, it's in the 80%. Basically, the prenup is put in place, she wants a divorce, it marches through the process, and parts are whittled off of the prenup, and it is what it is. Now, in blue states, in my opinion, from what I've researched, you are completely at the mercy of the whims of the judge. Now, if you are in a blue state with permanent Alice isn't horny any more money, and you've been married for more than 10 years, and you draw the wrong judge, you could pay permanent alimony, and they don't care about the prenup. I've talked to 3 or 4 guys that have had their prenup completely thrown out, and a couple of them tried to appeal, and they just ran out of money. So, to play it safe, gentlemen, do not get married. That's just me. But I understand if you're a dude out there and you want to try to get married and have kids and go for the American dream. Got it. Totally understand. But when it blows up in your face, and statistically speaking, that is exactly what's going to happen, don't come crying to me, because I'm trying to warn you guys out there. The stats are not in your favor for the remarriage. The judges and the laws will more than likely hamstring you and turn you into a pauper. And you have to understand, some of these dudes who marry and remarry again have no prenup, and each and every time they're surrendering half of their shit. So, say you get married 3 times. First time you get divorced, that's half your shit. Second time, now you're worth 1/4 of what you would have been if you never got married. And then you get divorced a 3rd time, and you're worth 1/8 of what you would have been if you had never gotten married in the first place. So the stats are not on your side. The money is not on your side. The laws are not on your side. And fate is not on your side if you're watching this video in current year. I'm sorry, gentlemen. That is the truth on the ground. Cry me a river, build a bridge, and get the fuck over it.